New NFL kickoff rule. How does it affect the Miami Dolphins? And I still sound like garbage. What is up, Finn fans? I still sound like hot garbage. I apologize. I don't feel sick anymore. It's just I sound sick. Colds. What are you going to do about it? But the NFL passed a new kickoff rule. This is the first time ever, I think, that they have done something so drastic when it comes to the kickoff rule. Now, they moved it. One year, they moved it, I think, up. Yeah, they moved it up from like the 30 to the 35. And then the touchback was moved from the 25 to the 30. And then there's a lot of different, like, little intricate small pieces that were moved around. This is different. This is a whole new world, a whole new formation, a whole new everything when it comes to the kickoff. So we're going to look at it and kind of talk about how it affects the Miami Dolphins, because it might affect us in a good way, but it also might affect us in a bad way. So this is the new kickoff rule, and I'm going to show you kind of what it looks like. So this is what it looks like. It's the new hybrid kickoff rule. The XFL was doing it for a hot minute. Now the Dolphins, the NFL, it's just the Dolphins that are doing it now. The NFL is taking it on. So essentially, the way it works is, as you see here, the kicker is now going to stay at the 35-yard line. Your guys are going to be lining up right next to each other. And then as soon as the ball gets into one of the receiver's hands, you could have two back there, you can have one back there. I think you have to have two back there if I'm looking at this properly. As soon as the ball hits him in the hands, that's when the blocking starts. So you cannot start blocking. So again, you see the X's and O's. You cannot start blocking until the receivers have caught the ball. So here is the rules in its entirety. So give you a little chart here so you can look at me, scoot over. Kickoffs that hit the landing zone must be returned. So this little R in the green area, I'm using my mouse like you can see it. The green area, the landing zone, must be returned. You can't take a knee. You can't fair catch it anymore, because last year, if it was within the 20-yard line and you fair caught it, because you've ever noticed last season, they would fair catch it and then they would just get it at the 25. Nope. Not anymore. Kickoffs landing in the landing zone, then go into the end zone, must be returned or downed by the receiving team. If down, the receiving team would get the ball at its own 20-yard line. So again, if the ball, hits the landing zone, but then goes into the end zone, you got to down it. It's the same situation like a normal kick. If not, the opposing team can get it and a touchdown. If you guys remember the Bills-Jets game, I think like 5 years ago. Kickoffs that go into the end zone and stay in bounds that are down would give the receiving team the ball on their own 30. Kickoffs that go out of the back of the end zone would also be a touchback at at the receiving team's 30-yard line. So, big difference here. So if the ball hits in the landing zone and then goes into the end zone, so the receiver doesn't catch it, he kind of lets it hit next to him and then go into the end zone, they get the ball, then they get at the 20. But if the kick goes into the end zone or goes out of the back of the end zone, then they get it at the 30. Get that? You picking it up? So if we kick the ball, if we're like, screw it, just kick out of the back of the end zone, don't let their guy, say some team drafts Worthy, right? And we're like, we're not kicking it to them. And we kick it out of the back of the end zone, they get the ball on their own 30. But if they mess up and they don't catch the ball and the ball bounces from the landing zone into the end zone, they get the ball on their own 20. So you get some type of penalization for not taking it out of the landing zone. It's about 10 yards. Kickoff short of the landing zones would be treated like a kick out of bounds, and receiving team would get the ball on its own 40-yard line. So if you see in between the setup zone and the landing zone, if the ball lands in between the 30 and the 20-yard line and hits there, that's automatically kind of an out of bounds. and that team will get the ball on the 40-yard line. So the kickers need to get the ball in the landing zone or in the end zone. If they go short, they get the ball on their own 40. Well, the receiving team gets the ball on their own 40. Also, you have to now announce if you're doing onside kicks. You cannot like fake it. Plus, you can't, because your kicker's starting at his own 35, and your return guys are starting on the 40. So you can see here again, the guys trying to make the tackle are starting on the 40. The guys trying to block are starting on the 35, and then your returners are going to be in the 20-yard line. It's a whole different world. Absolute, completely different world. Then give you a little taste. Again, the XFL kind of been doing this for a hot minute. Move this down. See what it looks like. Boom. So see, as soon as he catches it, they take off like a bat out of hell. So it kind of sucks for the blockers, because see how they're like trying to run backwards? You got like about 5 yards. But what this does is it's limiting collisions. So instead of you have guys running at you 20, 30 yards and just plowing into you, it's more of a quick impact. It's kind of like blocking on the offensive line, but you got 5 yards instead of a yard or half a yard in front of you. But it does allow for more kick returns for touchdowns, because it's very easy now, especially if you're blocking right, to bounce to the outside, hit a lane on the inside. It's much easier for kick returns to happen. And that's where it comes in. How does it benefit the Dolphins? Now, the Dolphins have some good kick returners. Now, when it came to our special teams, we were doo-doo butter when it came to, going downfield and making the tackle on kick returns and even punt returns. But we have Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, Devon Achane. We brought back Braxton Berrios, but we'll see if he'd be able to take it to the house in these types of situations. Teams that now are going to be looking at return guys in a completely different world. They're going to be looking at it like they did back in the day with the Ted Gins, with the Devin Hesters, with all that stuff, because now these situations are completely different where it's more susceptible for kick returns. And you are going to start taking that into consideration when it comes to lining up your guys. And I made a tweet when this all came out saying, minute 30 left on the clock, Dolphins are down by 4. We're getting the ball. Put Tyreek and Devon Achane back there. And, let them do what they need to do. And because that's going to be the situation now. That's really going to be the situation. Again, no surprise onside kicks like you saw from Pat McAfee that one year where he kind of pooched it and ran up and caught it, jumped on at the 10-yard line. No more Saints Colts on the Super Bowl where they, after the halftime, surprised them with the onside kick. You have to now announce, we're doing an onside kick. You can't just surprise kick and hurry up and get the ball. That's not a thing anymore, which kind of sucks. That kind of was I like that element of surprise where you had to be on your toes when it came to that. I said that they should, if you're going to change the kickoff in this drastically, why not adapt that 4th and 20? And if you don't know what I'm talking about, for a while, I think the Eagles, one of the birds, either the Eagles or the Ravens were trying to implement, because a lot of times what they do is teams will throw these rules out there and then they vote on them. That's what they've been doing from Sunday until tomorrow, on new rules. And one of them was, instead of onside kicks, you get the ball on your own 30. That yard line might be wrong. And it's 4th and 20. And you either get the first down or the defense gets the ball. And if you get the first down, your drive continues. If not, like I said, the defense gets the ball. So instead of an onside kick, you get one play to get 20 yards. I think it's 20 or 25 yards, or it's either 15 or 20 yards. I'm not 100% on that. But I like that better than now you have to be like, we're going to onside kick everybody, everyone, just so you know, we're onside kicking. So if you're going to have such a drastic change in the kickoffs, why not implement that onside kick rule? And I think the USFL does it, because the XFL is where we got this from. I think the USFL does that type of onside kick. Comment below. What do you think of the new kickoff rules? Do you think it's going to hurt the Dolphins? I think it's going to both hurt and help. I think when it comes to returning, it's going to help because we have the speed, but I think it's going to hurt because of how we've been coveraging on our kick and punt returns, especially because we kept our special team guy. So it's like, coach, I'm just like, well, we'll see if this affects it in a good or bad way, but I'm interested in what you guys think. Are you happy about this? Are you sad about this? Are you indifferent? Do you think, hey, I don't like change is bad, keep it the same way? Or are you like, hey, this is interesting, this is cool? Fun fact, Madden, for the first time in a very long time, is gonna have to change their game up, because Madden for so long have just stagnantly, oh, we'll just add this little piece and we'll change this, and now this and that. You have to completely revamp your kickoffs, Madden. It's gonna be interesting. But just to reiterate, I kind of like this. I think it's different. I think it's new. I think it's going to make the game a little bit more entertaining. You're going to get a lot more kick returns for touchdowns. I'm telling you that right now. So it's going to be interesting. The NFL is going more offense-based, especially with the hip drop tackle penalty. And I feel bad for defensive players. Like I said, I played defense, and it's bad. J.J. Watt came out and said something. Javon Holland came out and said something. Jonnu Smith came out and said something and said, we don't care about the hip drop tackles. We care about not playing on turf. It's just a hot mess. I'll probably make a video more about that, but just want to give you guys this update. Comment below. Let me know what you guys think. Tomorrow, I'm going to be breaking down wide receivers in our draft prospect video. Obviously, I'm not going to do the top ones because the Dolphins aren't going to have a potential at the top ones, but we're going to look at some wide receivers, and could the Dolphins take one at 21 or 55? It's going to be interesting. But on that, I'll see you guys in the next one. Like usual, stay classy. If it's up.